Right guys, welcome. Back with another tutorial. This time I want to do another textured video, but I want to show you how you texture barrels. Now, this video should hopefully not be as long as the weapon one. I'm not going to go into as much detail. I'm not going to show you, how you texture, the whole process. I'm literally just going to go over the config and what you need to do with the config. But if you are stuck, as always, link to my Discord will be in my YouTube. Also, I would suggest to go back and watch the weapon retexture video that I did a couple of days ago. As of recording this, because that, even though that's a weapon retexture, the process of packing your PBOs, signing your PBOs, uploading to the workshop, all that kind of thing, and the process of like texturing is the same. So you can go back and watch the weaponry texture because that goes through the process. But this video will just be more the config side of things. I will show you where to go to get the image to what you need to retexture, but that'll be about as far as it goes. Also, in the description, I will put a link to a pastebin where you can go and get the config. The config will be a shortened version of what you'll first see, what I show you, but it will give you what you need. I'll also put a link, two links in the description. One showing you how you go about creating your mod folder and getting all that side of things set up. And one will be where you can go and download a PBO project by Makira Tools, so you can actually pack your mod into a PBO, and about going and get your key and all that. So I would suggest, if you don't already have a mod folder and you don't know how to pack PBOs, that go and watch the two links in the description first, and then come back and watch the rest of this video. And I won't be showing you how to pack the PBOs, but whatever I do, I use PBO project by Makira Tools, but you can also use add-on builder, which is built into Dayz tools. I don't use that because I used to have issues with it. But yeah, if you like to follow along with these sort of retexture videos, even though I won't be repacking them in this video, I would suggest to go and download PBO project by Makira Tools, because you can follow along with any other tutorials that I've done showing you how to use that. Anyway, let's crack on. We've already launched my Dayz tools. We're in my P drive, and I'm going to go into what I call my project folder, and that's my Live to Survive. We're going to open that up, and for you, once you're in your project folder, you're going to want to create a new folder. And because we're dealing with barrels this time, I've just gone ahead and created one. Well, I say I've just gone, I've already done this, but for you, go ahead and create a new folder and call it barrels. It'll just make it simpler for you to follow along. Right, once you created that, go into it. Now, I've obviously got stuff in mind because I've already been doing this and creating textures. For you, yours will be empty. Now, what you're going to want to do is create a file, or create a file and call it config.cpp. Once you've created that, open it up. Right, let me just bring that over. Now, again, mine's obviously got stuff in it. Yours will be a lot shortened. I will show you what you'll get, but I also want to show you, that what it will look like if you add more. So, for example, I've got not at the very top, but the start of my barrels, which pretty much start here. We've got the normal barrels. So we're going to have your normal barrels, and we're going to have the fire barrels, or barrels with holes. So the reason for doing this is because you can craft a fire barrel from the normal barrel, and if you don't add everything in here, when you craft that fire barrel, it will disappear. So it's important that you basically follow along with the guide of this. So we've got both classes of them: the normal barrels color base and the barrel with holes color base, right? But what I'll provide you is the normal barrels, which ends there, and then underneath it I link them all both together, the barrel with holes, which ends there. And then again, I've got the same going down, but this texture is basically called birds, because the texture on the barrel has got a load of birds. Where if I go underneath, we've got an Xbox one. This has basically got like a little Xbox guy on. If we scroll down, we've got one called money, and this has got money texture on. And I've linked them both together. So the Xbox normal barrels, and then the Xbox barrel with holes, the money barrel, and then the barrel with holes money. You can kind of see how everything is kind of like following on, and where you need all the commas and brackets and everything. But like I said, I'll show you the much shortened version that I'll give you. We're just going to explain everything. Right. So you can see here we've got class live to survive. This is my actual project folder, and I've got it in a few places like so. And let me just bring over actually the one that you're going to get. Yeah. No, not that one. It's actually in my Notepad++. Right, bring that over. Okay, so what you see now is what you'll get. Now, I've wrote, this will be in the pastebin link. I've wrote change me on everything that you need to change. So, where it says change me on line 3, line 22, line 24, you would put in your project folder name. So for me, it was Live to Survive. You would be whatever you've called it. Where it says change me here, after barrels underscore, this will be the name that you set for your barrel. So when you add it to the trader, when you want to spawn it, in your types file, it'll be barrel underscore and then a name, and then the same for the holes. I do believe you don't actually need to add these, so you can see we've got it in the units section here. I've got a bit. If we go back to my one, not that one. I've got all the list of my barrel names in the unit section. I do believe you don't actually need to add them here. I added them there because when I first started doing the config, all the configs that I looked at had the names of their barrels. But I do believe you don't actually need to add them there, and you could just leave it empty if you wanted to. If you wanted to leave it empty, it would kind of look something like that. If you wanted to leave it empty, just in one row, you just follow the example of weapons. Okay. Okay, I've actually deleted the names. I'm not going to save it, so it doesn't matter. Let me just go back to. Let me just close it so I don't save it. Right, let me just go back to the one I'm going to upload to the pastebin for you. Okay, so we've covered that. So you can either not add the names of your barrels, or you can, but just everywhere you see change me, you need to change it to your name, or again, you can remove this from there. Let's scroll down. So we've covered that. We've covered that. Change me on line 29. This, again, I don't think you need to do. You could actually have this blank, empty, if you wanted to. Sorry, you could have it blank like that. But what I tend to do is the name of my project folder, and then the name of the folder that the config lies in. So, for example, my project. Let me. Instead of redoing it, let me just go back into my actual one. So we've got which is name. So I've got name of my project folder, which is Live to Survive, then underscore, and then the name of the folder that the config lies in, which is barrels. That's what I tend to do, but again, I don't think it really matters what you put there, and you can leave it empty. Right, then let's go back to this one. The author, again, it doesn't really matter, but you can just put in your name. Right, now it's down here. This is where we're kind of getting into things. So keep everything that I haven't put change me on, you don't change. Just leave everything as it is. So on line 41, class barrel underscore. So this is like the class of it, and this is this part, barrel underscore. Wherever you see barrel underscore before change me, don't change the barrel underscore. Keep that the same. Only change where it says change me. So where it says change me, you'd put in the name of what you want it to be. So if you was to put this into your trader, you would type barrel underscore and then the name that you set there. And then the same for in your types file too. You would need to include barrel underscore. And it's important because if you don't keep to that sort of format, when you craft a fire barrel out of a normal barrel, it will actually disappear and you won't get a fire barrel and your normal barrel will disappear. Right. Okay, so then underneath, again, display name, change me, you can just put a display name. Description, you can put a description. Even though it says description short, you can actually put quite a long description. You can be like a little paragraph. It's up to you. Color, right? Color is the name what you set. So on line 41, where it says change me, the name that you set. So if I was to put if I was to just write example, right, where it says color, I would put example. Does that make sense? I wouldn't write barrel underscore example, just example. So just whatever you put after the underscore. So I'm hoping that makes sense there. Let's just change that back to change me. Right, go down, so that's color. And then, right, in the hidden selection textures is the path to your PAA file. So it's going to include your project folder. It's going to include the folder that your config's in, and then it's going to include where your PAA file is. So if we open up, I think I've already got it open up, my one. So we've got live to survive, and then between each thing, you want these like backwards lines. I don't know what you call them, but it'd be your project folder. So for me, live to survive, barrels, because that's the name of the next folder it's in, and then birdbarrel.paa, which is what it's called. And if we open up my thing, you can see here, live to survive, barrels, and then I've got a birdbarrel.pa, which is there. A lot of people as well, they tend to, if you want to organize it maybe a little bit better, I just try to keep it simple. In this folder, you can actually create another folder, and again, you can really call it what you want, but a lot of people call it data. And you can create a data folder, and what they do is they put all their PAAs inside that data folder. So if you was to do that, if you wanted to create a data folder and put your PAAs inside there, and then remove your PAs from here, you would keep your config here, but just remove your PAs and put them in your data. Once you're in your config, all you do is you just got to link that. So what I would do if you was to do that, after this underscore, you would write data, that backwards line thing, and then your PA name afterwards. Does that make sense? So you basically, it's the full file path to where your PAA is located. Let's just undo that. Okay, and then so for the normal barrel, you've only got one PA file, but for the barrel with holes, you've got basically three. Don't change this top line, and again in the actual let me open it up. In the actual config that I upload to Pastebin, I've kept it there. So this is what you'll see. Don't change that. Just change what's underneath. So in the one with holes, you're gonna have two. In the one with not holes, you just got one file path. Right. And that is, oh, looks like I've copied two here. Hang on 2 seconds. I've actually copied. No, I haven't. Yeah. Okay. Just ignore that. What you'll actually see, I have actually copied two. It's from there. Right, there we go. So you'll get that. So it basically ends there. Now, just a couple other things I want to explain. We've got item size. I'm sure many of you will know what this is. This is the size of your actual item when you put it inside of a storage slot, so something like a bag. If you put it in a tent, something that's got storage. This is what the slots it's going to take up. So it's going to take up 4x5. Class cargo. This is the actual size of the item. So this is the size of the this is the inventory size. So this is the space that you get inside of that item. So for me, you just go to the normal barrel. So my normal barrel will take up 4x5, but the cargo size inside, the inventory space is going to be 13 by 40. So this is like, I think, just over 500 inventory slots inside that barrel. Again, you can change it to whatever you want. It's up to you, and the same with item size. I've just kept it there so you can see. But the one with barrel with holes, I've changed this. So this is quite big. So this is, item size is 10 by 20. So this is going to take up 200 slots inside of a storage. So as long as you've got a backpack or something that's got more than 200 slots, you could fit this barrel with holes inside of it. Anything smaller, you won't be able to put it in there, and you're going to have to carry it. And again, change it to your liking. For me, that's how I want it, because kind of a fire barrel is kind of something that you shouldn't really be transporting. It's an item that you place down on the map and you use it as a fire barrel. And the cargo size, I've done it 10 by 10. You've got 100 slots inside of it. Again, I was going to make it smaller. Default, it's 150. I was going to make it smaller because, again, you don't really use a fire barrel for storage. You can do, but if you have a fire in there and you start to create a fire, your stuff inside there is going to get burnt and get ruined. So it's kind of something that is maybe not really as a storage item, but again, you can do if that's what you want to. But go ahead and change these as you want. If you kind of want everything default, you want the default size, default cargo size, you can simply get these lines. So from where you see on my line 51, now depending on how many you set, you might be on a different line, but we see item size and this class cargo down to this bracket. So everything you see highlighted, you can just simply delete, and you can delete it from the one with barrel with holes as well, and that will just give it a default size and space if that's what you want to do. But I thought I like to have custom size and stuff, so I thought if I at least include it, if you wanted that, you can you can have it and you can see how that's done. Anyway, that is pretty much it for config. Once you've got everything, save it. You're gonna after you got your PAAs and everything done, which I'll quickly show you now. You would then put it through either add-on builder or PBO project, and go through that step. Right, to get the file, so to get the PA file to actually do your texture, and I'm not going to show you how to do it. I'm just going to show you where to find it. If you go to your P drive, go to the Dayz folder. Go to, I've got to remember what it's under now, gear, go to containers. If you go into data, right, what you're looking for is the barrel co.paa file. So there's a few. So the barrels come in, I think, 4 different colors: red, blue, green, yellow. It doesn't really matter which one you get. There's one here with green, so let's just go from the top. So it starts with blue. So barrel _ blue _ co.paa. So you're looking for one that's got .co.paa and making sure it's a barrel. But it doesn't matter if you get blue or green, or red or yellow. It doesn't really matter. They're the same. If you go, if you right click on it, and as long as you know you've got Dayz tools open and that thing, you can open it with text view. And if you use the scroll wheel and just zoom up, it will actually zoom out. And this is the PA that you're going to be texturing. The top part here, we see the rust. This is the inside of the barrel. Now it's kind of hard to see because we've got blue everywhere. But this bottom part, where you can sort of see my mouse cursor like going over, this blue part is the outside of the barrel. And then these circles. Now, I've got to go by memory. I did write this down, but I've accidentally deleted it. If I go by memory, this top circle is the inside of the lid. This second circle is the inside of the bottom part of the barrel. This third circle is the top side of the lid, so the external. This is what you're going to see from the outside. This is the top of the lid. And this bottom part of the circle is the bottom part of the barrel on the outside. So this is the part that's going to be on the ground. Kind of makes sense. So circle 1, the circle 1 here, and circle 3 are the same object, but one's the inside and one's the outside. And this second one and this fourth one are the same, but one's the inside of the bottom part of the barrel and one's the outside of the bottom part of the barrel. So I'm hoping that makes sense. So really the important part that you want to texture is the third one, because that's going to be the bit you see that's going to be on the outside. And, you know, maybe this first one, because that's when you open the lid, you're going to see the inside of it. So maybe you want to texture that one too. But I texture it with them all, apart from the bottom one usually, because that's not what you see. But go ahead and texture it. So 1 and 3 are linked, 2 and 4 are linked. 1 is the inside of the top lid, 3 is the outside of the lid, 2 is the inside of the bottom part of the barrel, and 4 is the outside of the bottom part of the barrel. Now that's going from memory, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Anyway, you want to basically save this somewhere, and whatever photo editing software that you use, you're going to want to open it up and apply your textures. And then basically, I use GIMP, and GIMP doesn't like PAA, so I have to like save it into a PNG to open up in GIMP. Once I've finished in GIMP and done my textures, I have to save it as a PAA, so I would save it as a different name. I save it as a PNG, save it from GIMP as a PNG with a different name, and then I'd open up that texture that I finally created in GIMP or photo editing, whatever you use, and I'd open up in text view, and then I'd resave it as a PAA, and then that PAA would be put into your project folder, and it'd be put there, or inside the data folder if you got a data folder. Let me delete that because I don't actually use a data folder. But that PAA would be put either in your data folder wherever you got it, or inside your barrels folder with a name, and then of course that PAA would be linked into your config, and that's it. Any issues? If you are stuck, you're confused, again, link to Discord is on YouTube. You can come and join that and speak with me. Also, I suggest go and watch the weapon texture I did a few days ago, because that goes kind of through the process. But yeah, apart from that, just come and speak to me on Discord if you're stuck. But have fun, and until next time, guys, peace out.